Hi, Dr. Kevin here, and I'm at a CEO Space International live event. As faculty here, I come here 5 times a year and help growing and emerging entrepreneurs take their business to their next level, take their expertise to the next level, and take their passion to the world. One of the areas that I work a lot in is actually helping people take their journey to greatness, making sure that though they might be great at something, that they don't let that greatness go to a place where it completely overwhelms them. They become a caricature of that greatness and never really find their true measure. And therefore, their business never finds its true measure. The thing I want to talk to you about today is how to compete in today's market as an expert. Everybody is an expert today. You can take seminars, you can do workshops, you can run away for a weekend and suddenly come back and be an expert. And oftentimes, we're not sure an expert what. And this is a trap you don't want to fall into. If you are truly an expert, I have 3 tips for you that by integrating these tips into who you are and how you treat your business, present your business, and walk in the world, that you will truly be recognized as an expert. One who is in their power, lives their power, and empowers people in the process. So the first one is, don't be a politician. Oftentimes what happens is somebody becomes an expert and then they feel like every answer has to be perfect. It is being judged by everybody, that they have to somehow get up on a soapbox and they have to ramble on without saying much because they don't want to be challenged. Oftentimes an expert feels like that they get challenged and they don't have an answer, or they don't have the right answer, that somehow they will lose all their credibility. Where in truth, the audience, your audience wants to hear, well, let me think about that. Reason through with it. Come to your best opinion. Come to your years of experience. If you're truly an expert, you shouldn't be afraid of this. And if you're not an expert, well, stop listening because this isn't for you. So don't be a politician. Work with it. Think about it. Give good, thoughtful answers. Say, I don't know or I'm not sure. There are a lot of things I would have to consider about this, but give an answer. And that leads to number 2, be yourself. You know, there's only one you. And if you become you, nobody can compete with that. Nobody can be a better you than you are. If you want to be an expert who moves, as some people call it, to celebrityhood or even icon status, it's because you are the real deal and you are uniquely you. And you got to take that uniquely you and not be afraid to be it. Don't get all homogenized and pasteurized. The problem with today's world and this country is everyone's trying to homogenize us and pasteurize us and make us be in some little block that we should fit in and be picture perfect. The world is not like that. Your audience is not picture perfect, and your audience has wised up. It no longer believes in picture perfect. And in fact, if you try to be picture perfect, if you try to be perfectly homogenized and pasteurized, you may end up on an altar for about 35 seconds, and then they'll spend decades tearing it down and making you look like a fool. So be yourself. The third tip, if you're going to want to go out and compete in today's expert market, use your epiphanies as teaching lessons, not your successes. Go out there. Share with what you stumbled. Now I go and I watch inspirational, motivational speakers sometimes. Some inspire and motivate me, and some click will go off in my head and I'll make a change. They're rare. Most of them, they just could have taken a razor blade, sliced open up my arm, and stuck it with basically a form of caffeine called energy, and you are great. Will you say yes and yes? Yeah, maybe not. Today's listener, today's watcher, today's viewer, and today's serious student doesn't want to say yes. They want to say, tell me more. Tell me why. And they may even want you to justify what you're thinking. So if you want to be an expert in today's market, you want to go out there and say, yeah, this is where I stumbled. This is what I learned. Now, I know, and again, I hear that, and you've heard it, but it's kind of like it's this long melodrama, shorter, done by a quick change. It's almost like, okay, we've broken for commercial, and now you're going to come back, and you have 3 minutes to wrap up the whole plot and be the hero of the story. Well, guess what? Life doesn't work that way. The world doesn't work that way. There was a time when People wanted the world to work that way. There was a time they pretended the world worked that way. And then they reached a time where they just medicated so they could believe the world worked that way. But guess what? People are not as enamored with perfection or drugged acceptance. So, use your epiphanies. Be real. Be yourself. Share those things. And don't be a politician. If you do those things, you will stand out as somebody who is truly an expert, not only in what you are talking at or about, but an expert in being human. And in today's planet, we have over 7 billion people, but not a lot of humans anymore. You be one, and you will be successful.